Hello everybody and welcome to How to Re-Register Your Club in WIN. Let's get started. Okay, so a bit about the timeline. So we're opening up this up May 1st and we'll go through October 31st. Just some dates to remember in there. So September 1st is when we'll make anybody who has not re-registered into frozen status. So this just means that you can still re-register your club by going to your management view, which you'll see here in a little bit, but you won't be seen as an organization in WIN. This is primarily for our new students coming to campus. We want to be able to show them what clubs are actually active when they come and start exploring, especially for the fall info fair. Starting November 1st, so a little bit into the fall quarter, anybody who has not re-registered will be made locked. We'll assume that you're not coming back, but if you are, then you'll just need to come into the Club Hub and register with our staff. And inactive status means that you're definitely not coming back. Everything is wiped from your organization, including the roster, and it really gives students a chance to start the club fresh, if that is what they'd like to do. And we can change you to locked or inactive at any time if you know that your club is not coming back. Either maybe they're coming back later in the academic year or not coming back at all, for sure. We can go ahead and change that if you just let us know. Okay, so how to re-register. Okay, so this is the Pizza Club. It's our little training site that we like to use. So when you go to the management view, which is this view, you'll see this re-register this organization button here pop up starting May 1st. And that will be visible until October 31st. Go ahead and hit that blue button. The first step is to read the registration instructions. So this will walk you through a little bit of tips here before you get started. You'll see that you can continue your re-registration process through submissions. So this is your personal account that'll be in the top right corner of your WIN site. Anywhere in WIN you'll see your account from the top right, and you can resume going through submissions. So that is a user option in there. So it isn't by club, but by user. You can see that. You'll need the names and Western email accounts of all your members and your leaders to go ahead and add them to your roster. We can't use Gmail or Hotmail or anything like that. It has to be the Western email. You'll also want to have an updated constitution ready. So before you get started, you'll want to download your constitution, make any changes, and then you're going to re-upload that in this process, including any dates or anything on that constitution. Some of these other instructions is what we're about to go over. Okay, so the first screen that you'll see in the re-registration process is general information. So this is where you'll see the official name of the club and the acronym that you want to use. You'll also see the summary versus the organization description. In WIN, in the Organizations tab, there's a list of all the organizations and there's boxes, and that's what that summary is there. It's limited characters to fit into that box. And then once you click into an organization, you see the full organization description. So you'll see here that these are the same, but we actually want to see a little bit more description in here. So this could be your statement of purpose, more description about what somebody might see or experience when they join your club. You can also add some links here, bullets, however you want to format this to give a full description of what your club is all about. Next is the website and social media information. So everybody gets a customized URL website that takes folks from somewhere else directly to your site in WIN. This is how they find you. Sometimes you'll see this reference to Campus Labs, and that's who owns this platform. So everybody will have at least the win.ww.edu/organization/ the name of your club customized URL, or this full one here. Either one works. The external website is if you want to take somebody from WIN somewhere else. So it might be to a department website or a national organization or a Discord site or wherever you want to take folks to get more information about your club. And this will also be a time to update any social media links here. So if you are not using a social media anymore or you've created a new one, this is a good time to refresh that. And you can do any of this at any time during the school year. All right, the organization contact information. So this is how to reach your club, not you as a person. So the most important information here, which is still just optional, is this email account here. So this is how somebody will want to contact the club. A lot of clubs use a generic, say a Gmail account that they can pass down year to year rather than a personal email, but that's totally up to you. All this other stuff is not needed. So any personal addresses, phone number, all that stuff, you don't need that in there. Just take all that out, especially fax number. You don't use fax, right? Okay, so next you want to update your profile picture. You can keep what's in there right now if you want, that's totally fine. Or right now you can, this is a good time to request a logo be made for you from the AS Publicity Center. So you can just do a Publicity Center request form, and they are doing that for free right now. So if you're looking to refresh and get a new logo in their profile picture, they are happy to do that for you. Or if you have a member that can design something for you, that's cool too. We just don't encourage hiring somebody to create this profile picture for you and do a contract and all that mess. Just put something in there that fits your club. Okay, next is when you'll add your members. So the first top part of it is a chance to add any new members that currently are not on your roster. Below that, which is what we'll see in the next frame, is where you'll see your full roster as it is right now. And you'll have a chance to remove anybody. So you can either add them by position, put in their email, their first and last name, or you can go ahead and add multiple members in bulk. So if you have a list of people that you want to add by position, just add their email addresses in there, choose the position, and then you can add them in all at once. The next section below that is updating current members. So as I mentioned, this is where you'll see your current roster. So this is where you can remove somebody, change their position, whatever you need to do here. So say Heather is no longer a part of the club, I can just click on that name and hit remove. Say Alyssa is no longer a co-lead officer, but we want to change her position to budget coordinator. You just click on edit position assignment and edit that from there. And just a note about the positions here, lead, co-lead, and budget coordinator are generic terms. It's basically president, vice president, treasurer in there. And you can edit those descriptions in the management view by editing the name of the position. Okay, next is where you're going to add the constitution that I mentioned before. So before you get started, again, download the current version, update it, upload. Be sure that you are using that template that we provide, or at least has the same info in there as our template. There's some language in there that is really important. And that you want to make sure that there's a date somewhere on there, that the current version has a date. The template allows you to put that in the footer. However you want to do that is fine. We just need a current date so we know that you have actually updated and looked at it. Make sure it's the most recent information. The next part is going to go through some questions and statements. So just a reminder to add a budget coordinator if you are financially active. Make sure that that is on your roster. So you can always go back to that roster section and update that. You can add an advisor to your roster as well. And just to email me if your advisor has changed or you found somebody. I have my own roster that I keep, and we send newsletters and updates and that to them. So I just need to know any updated advisor information. And only Western faculty or staff can be added to your WIN roster. If it's a community member, they unfortunately at this time can't be added to the WIN site. There will be a link for the recognition procedure, an acknowledgement statement that you agree to follow that, which is currently being updated, so you might see a new one come out next year. There'll also be a reminder to follow all AS policies and procedures, to use the AS Publicity Center, not outsource any of that, unless you're given permission to do so. So that includes graphic design, video production, any of that kind of stuff. And to not use any third-party platforms such as Venmo, PayPal, etc. We also want you to be attending our trainings and workshops that are provided and utilize our guiding documents. Those are all made for you, helpful, and we want you to use that. There'll be a reminder to update your primary contact. So whoever is submitting the re-registration will automatically be added as a primary contact for your club, which you can update later after you've submitted the re-registration. And that is, the primary contact is who we send newsletters, updates, announcements, any of that kind of stuff. It's also how somebody who's interested in your club, that's who they contact. And finally, to use the event planning checklist. Anytime you're doing anything other than a standard club meeting, we want you to use that checklist. This includes fundraising, it includes showing a film or TV show during your club meeting, it includes contracts that might be needed for events, it might be running a 5K, anything like that. Just anything that you're doing outside of a meeting, please use that event planning checklist. Okay, and final touches, the last part of the re-registration. So you'll want to add the name or names of those who have taken this training. So be sure to get credit for taking this training. We just want to know that at least one person has seen all these videos about Club Renew before re-registering your club. There'll also be a chance to link to the AS Fall Info Fair registration. As of right now, that'll be an online program in the fall. So we're going to open up the registration to be a part of that event, even though we're not quite sure exactly what it'll look like yet, but it will be online. And if you're not ready to sign up for InfoFair, totally fine. You can do that anytime. It'll be under the Forums tab, again, starting May 1st and through mid-September. And there'll also be a reminder to hit Next, and then that'll take you to the final page to hit Submit. It's very easy to forget to hit Submit on there. And we can't tell who has started a re-registration. We can only see that a re-registration has been started, but not by who. So it's really important to know who is doing this re-registration, and then they then hit Submit to actually finalize the process. Okay, last few notes on this. So this re-registration process can be slow, so bear with us. If you submit your re-registration, you may not hear anything for a while, but we promise we're getting to it. During spring quarter, Alexis, who is the Club Training and Development Coordinator, will be reviewing those. I'll take over that process in summer, and then during summer we're going to hire for that position for the Training and Development Coordinator and the Promotions and Outreach Coordinator. So once those folks are hired and are trained, they'll take over in the fall. And so you may see comments when it's approved or if it's denied. And we're only going to deny any re-registrations if there's information that's missing or you need more in there. And that just means you need to add something or fix something and then resubmit it. And you may see comments from us even when it is approved with just some tips. Like, looks good, but here's some things you might think about. Again, if you are not the one re-registering, be sure to know who is, because we cannot see who has started that process. All right, that is it. Thank you very much for listening to this video.